Okay, everybody, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for joining our July AMA. We will be covering some of the topics regarding the recent transition to POS, the Bit2Me Mastercard Integration, raffle giveaway about the node, and some other things that we're going to be, jumping into. We don't want to give too much away. Sally, thank you once again for joining us. Sally here is the executive board member of eSync. Thank you.
Thank you
So,
for
how,
having
how
me.
are you? Let's first off, how are you doing, Sally? How's everything been?
Hey, Steven. Thank you for having me. All is good. What about you?
Likewise on my end, to be honest. So, without any further ado, since we have a lot of burning questions from the community, and in general, let's just jump into straight away to the one of the main topics of today's AMA, the switch to the POS. So, can you tell us a little bit more about the recent switch to proof of stake? What is proof of stake, and why is it important for the eSync network?
Yes, for sure. So basically, proof of stake, or what we call the POS, it's a consensus mechanism where usually validators are chosen based on the number of tokens or coins they hold and are willing to stake as collateral. So basically, validators are responsible for verifying transactions and creating new blocks in the blockchain, and decentralization, which is important, which is what we will be pushing further and further moving forward when it comes to the entire project. Because POS basically encourages broader participation from users in the network, and it reduces the risk of central points of failure.
Awesome. So, can you give us a little bit more information about why the eSync network decided to transition from proof of authority to proof of stake?
For sure. I mean, basically, initially, eSync Network used proof of authority, which relies on a limited number of validators, which is also known as, that were basically known and trusted by the network. I mean, this is usually, I mean, these are common practices. POA is efficient and suitable for early stage networks. But it has also its own limitations in terms of decentralization and security. So the decision to move basically from POA to POS was driven by the need to, of course, as I mentioned in the previous question, to increase decentralization. Because when more participants become validators, I mean, we reduce the risk of centralization and single points of failure, but also um, it also increases security because with a larger number of validators, the network becomes more resilient to attacks. And at last but not least, because of scalability, which is essential. I mean, this shift basically aims to to improve the network's robustness, I would say, and to ensure that we can support a diverse set of applications moving forward on the network.
Awesome. So, can you share a little bit about the timeline and the key milestones that the transition to POS, took to get there?
I mean, it's done basically. This is something that I was mentioning since December, from what I can recall, when I initially introduced the product roadmap, and by product roadmap I mean here for specifically for the blockchain for eSync network, and it's taken us months of having it on the test net, and afterwards we migrated fully on the mainnet. So there's been a lot of work, months and months of work in the background to have this happen, and I salute the entire team. I salute also our technical team within Cryptics who made that possible.
Awesome. And you mentioned the validators as one of the key points there.
Mhm.
So let's touch a little bit about that. What are some of the upgrades that the validators need to make to facilitate the switch to the POS?
Yeah, basically, validators that would want to transition, they need to perform a few steps basically to ensure a smooth upgrade. First, they need to update their node software to the latest version that supports. I mean, this is for the existing validators, I would say, to support the latest version that supports the POS, which involves basically downloading and installing the new software packages. Validators also need to stake a certain amount of ECS to become eligible for validating blocks. So basically, all of this information you can check on the website, on eSync Network's website, and there's detailed information about what validators should do. We also sent out an email with basic instructions for the existing validators, and everything else you can check through the documentation on the website.
Yeah, great. That covers the existing validators. But for example, let's say I want to become a validator node operator.
Mhm.
So how does someone like me, who, for example, didn't have any connection with the previous version of the consensus mechanism, how can someone new get into that?
I mean, basically, you need to initially acquire and secure a minimum, the minimum required amount of the network's ECS, basically the network's cryptocurrency to stake, and then basically set up a validator node, install the basically install and configure the software, join the network, and maintain node operations. These are all, I would say, technical steps. Whoever wants to get more acquainted with them can go through our documentation on the website.
Great. And you mentioned the nodes themselves. There's a raffle going on the eSync Network website. Am I right?
Exactly.
Can you tell us a
Exactly.
little
I
bit
mean, this is.
about the
I mean, this
prizes
is
and
all I would
what to do?
say relevant to the POS. I mean, we are calling it the POS Celebration Raffle, but this is all because we would want to incentivize more people to also become validators. We have prizes. So basically, the first prize is whoever receives this basically wins the Jupiter ECS validator node, which is a hardware product for whoever would want to run those validator nodes on ECS, and it's worth around 1,500 euros. The second, I would say, the second place award is an eCredits wallet card for 50,000 ECS, and the third one is basically another eCredits wallet card for 25,000 ECS, and these are all physical cards as well. The campaign ends on August 11th, and the winners will be announced on August 12th. So you guys still have around um, 2 weeks, basically 2 weeks to participate.
Okay, so you mentioned the rewards and the end date about the raffle,
Mhm.
but what about the how does one participate in raffle? What are the requirements? What are the
Yeah.
needs that need to be met?
Yeah, I mean, basically, whoever would want to participate needs to purchase at least 10,000 ECS through, for example, the exchanges that we're listed on. So that's through Bit2Me, Blocktrade, or directly via the eCredits wallet app. Then you need to fill out the participation form with your email, name, eCredits wallet address, so we can actually track and verify uh, the previous conditions of basically purchasing the 10,000 ECS. Read and accept the terms, and then submit the form. As simple as that.
Yeah, you mentioned the purchasing of ECS through one of the exchanges that we're listed on.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of news about Bit2Me in the past couple of weeks, especially about the 15 euros that you get in ECS when you subscribe to Bit2Me.
Mm-hmm.
So can you get a little bit more about can we get a little bit more detail about the collaboration between Bit2Me and eCredits, eSync? So can we dive into that a little bit?
For sure.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
Bit2Me have been, I would say, the perfect partners to work with when it comes to different initiatives that we've been taking recently, and of course, I mean, we initially listed on Bit2Me, but then we also rolled out a card with them, and we will be having further things happening in the near future. So when it comes to the Bit2Me campaign, basically, I mean, first the promotion, it's it's I would say it's a two-way referral program, where basically whoever gets onboarded onto Bit2Me on the platform would receive 15 euros worth of ECS. When it comes to the card itself, there it becomes more interesting, because basically once you get onboarded on their platform, you can also go into their products section and order a Bit2Me card, in which then you can feed with ECS, and you can use that card for your purchases anywhere. Basically, you can pay at any point of sale that supports that accepts Mastercard. You can pay directly by feeding basically your ECS wallet and on the platform, and you can pay directly with ECS everywhere.
Yeah. Besides the things that you listed now, what are some of the other benefits that the Bit2Me card gives to the user?
Can you repeat the question? I did not hear you properly.
Besides the things that you mentioned now, that you can pay with ECS wherever you go, what are some of the other benefits that the Bit2Me cards gives to the user?
I mean, it basically gives accessibility. It means that you can use now the card anywhere, and you can pay basically at any point of sale that supports Mastercard with ECS. So this goes beyond, I would say, the initial use cases where we were just onboarding specific merchants that support ECS, and this basically becomes, I would say, universal, in the sense that now you can use ECS and pay anywhere, not just at the specific previously limited points of sales that accepted ECS.
Amazing. While on the topic of Bit2Me, we also have some other news that have been announced in the last week. Staking ECS through Bit2Me. Can you go into detail about that? What is it? What does it entail? How does one stake?
For sure. Basically, we are rolling out a new campaign with the I mean, a new campaign with Bit2Me. This is gonna start in a few days after the existent campaign ends, and the idea of it is basically that you would be able to stake ECS on the Bit2Me platform, and and to be the Bit2Me campaign, the one that the staking one starts after the existing one ends, I believe on the 15th of August, and it will continue for 3 to 4 months. And whoever would want to basically purchase Bit2Me on the platform can now stake them to earn yields from that as well, and the yield rewards will be around 14% APY.
That's what I wanted to get into next. To the numbers of everything. What is the minimum? What is the maximum of for staking ECS on Bit2Me, and what do the reward structures look like?
Basically, the minimum amount of staking, there's no minimum amount of staking ECS. So if you so basically, if you decide to stake on Bit2Me Earn, you can make withdrawals or add other coins as well at any time, free of charge. How much is the earning? Basically, it depends on the staking pool, but basically you can receive rewards up to 14% APY.
Yeah, that sounds pretty. Why don't we go to another interesting listing that we've seen in the past couple of days, actually yesterday. What can you tell us a little bit more about the recent CoinStore announcement? What is going on there?
For sure. I mean, again, I need to emphasize here that we are basically delivering on all the promises that we made in the very beginning, and we are sticking and abiding, I would say, strictly by the product roadmap that I presented back in December. And one of the points on that product roadmap is listing on further exchanges. Over the past, I would say, 6 months, 6 to 7 months, up to, I mean, from back from when I introduced that product roadmap up till now, we've managed to list on Bit2Me, on Bitrue, and now on CoinStore. CoinStore is a leading, I would say, again, Asian exchange, and again, it's part of. I mean, it's part of the getting ECS out there, getting the project out there, but also providing accessibility, providing further liquidity for users as well. So it's part of that strategy, I would say.
Yeah, of course, getting more people to know about the project, to invest in the project, is always something that we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But can you tell us a little bit more about the specific dates? Do we have any teaser about when we can expect the listing to go live or something like that? And what does it mean to the ecosystem as a whole?
Yeah, I do. Let's say it's gonna go live within the next week. So within the coming 7 days.
Awesome, awesome. That's great to hear. Uh, let's switch a little bit to the more community questions that we have from our users.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what time zone is the eSync that we're using when it's reporting the transactions?
Uh, I did not fully understand this question, but if you when reporting transactions, but basically it means that, I mean, we are all the team is located within the CET, so the Central European timing. So most of the operations happen within that timing. Uh, if that helps to answer the questions, I guess.
I believe it does. I believe it does because our users are located
Mm-hmm.
all around the
Yeah.
globe, so it helps them to figure out the exact timing that we're using.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Next one. So, do we have any plans of introducing a burn mechanism, buying back ECS from each transaction, or using profit to buy back coins?
Mhm. I mean, look, the I would say we are no strangers to burn mechanisms, because eSync network has already implemented the token burn mechanism, which was part of the strategy to manage the ECS token supply, which we rolled out in March. Back then, the network conducted, I would say, a significant token burn, reducing the circulating supply. By more than 80%. Additionally, we burned 42 billion ECS from the ACT swap funds, and around 8.6 billion from the SCE's funds. So back then, I mean, that approach helped to mitigate inflation and support. I mean, a more stable, I would say, more stable, but also more attractive environment for the token. So yes, we would be potentially incorporating different or similar strategies in the future. But at the moment, I cannot comment on that in more detail.
That's absolutely fair. I mean, things like burning mechanics are a little bit harder to
Yeah.
define on the go, but yeah, that's absolutely understandable. Uh, One of my favorite questions that we've been getting so far is: are there any upcoming events that the team will take place in?
I mean, I just got back recently from ETCC, which took part in Brussels this year, and a lot of, I mean, many of the main themes over there were about exactly the same use cases and exactly the same topics that we're targeting on eSync, RWAs, uh, MiCA, regulatory compliance issues, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, I just got back from that recently. I might be going to Berlin next month for Web3 Summit. So yeah, I mean it's also, I would say, it's summer season at the moment. Things are a bit slower, but we are working and heading forward in full force.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, summer's a little bit slower in Web3 as well. So yeah, we understand that. So what are some of the measures that you're taking to promote the eSync ecosystem to larger communities?
I mean, for example, when it comes to listing on different exchanges, I mean, we did many. I mean, we are doing at the moment. If you take the example of what we're doing with Bit2Me, with the staking campaigns, with the card, and so on and so forth, we are also targeting, for example, Bit2Me's communities, and they do have. I mean, Bit2Me is one of the biggest, I would say, um, European exchanges for the Spanish speaking part of Europe, and they have large communities over there. When it comes to what we're doing, for example, now by listing on Bit2 and CoinStore, we are targeting also Asian communities that are very, I would say, Web3. Well, I mean, they're bigger, I would say, Web3 enthusiasts than the European communities, and we will be rolling out further campaigns and future campaigns also with them. Once the listing goes live, we have it planned. Our marketing team has been working on that with them. And of course, besides that, we will continue with specific campaigns, specifically targeting the overall Web3 communities, with I mean, with different initiatives such as Zili, like we did it earlier, and other similar platforms as well.
Awesome. And last but not least, what are some of the plans for the future?
I mean, look, it's as I mentioned before, we want to deliver on the promises we made initially, and I think that it's time for because I mean actions speak louder than words, so it's time to show and not to tell, and this is what we've been doing over the past, I would say, months. The plans for the future, I would say, is to keep on building.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So today we talked mostly about the switch to POS, the current campaigns running on Bit2Me, everything related to that, about the future listings that we have planned, and generally about the future of the whole ecosystem. Uh, that being said, do you have any final words for the CMA?
I think that's it. I would like to thank everyone for tuning in, especially on a Friday afternoon, and stay. I mean, keep on following us. Stay posted. There's more to come, and we would appreciate everyone's support.
We're not here. The recording of the AMA will be published to YouTube next week, so keep your eye out for that. If you missed any part, you can go back and check it out. For me, thank you so much for joining. Signing out.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
Good Friday and a great weekend.
Bye bye.